everybody, and welcome to today's video. We're going to talk all about stale bread and a casserole we can make with it. I hope you stay tuned. On making my own bread and having lots of videos on homemade bread, one thing that's a downfall about it is it gets stale really quickly. Bread like this is amazing and nutritious, and it doesn't have any preservatives in it, but sometimes it can get very stale. Today we're going to make a stuffing casserole. It's something I pretty much have come up with, but you see it all the time in recipe books. Now, the only difference is I found at the Dollar Tree some of this nacho cheese sauce. It's very runny, but I tasted it and it tastes really good. It's just really cheap made, it seems. We're gonna add this to it, a can of cream soup to it, some broccoli, some chicken, throw it all together, and we call it a day. But it's using up bread that is stale. So let's go ahead and let's assemble our casserole. Lots of times in these recipes, you'll have a starch. So it'll often call for rice or potatoes. It will call for different starches. And for me, I'm gonna use bread. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cube up this bread. Now, Chicken Divine, I think, calls for bread. I'm going to put some of the bread in here. I'm hoping that it will fit all in this container, because when we add the cream soups, it's going to soak up and the bread will really condense. So we're just cutting this up. This is my egg bread, so this would make a beautiful stuffing. Or you could just do what my mom did. She took her hands and she just ripped it all up in pieces. Now this is a lot of bread though for this casserole, but I think we'll be all right. I would like to use it all up. Some people will use croutons. It's pretty much using what you have, and that is the whole theme of my channel. It's just using up what you have. My mom would make her own stuffing or filling, and she would use milk and celery. This is going to puff up really nicely, and one thing about using starches like this, it fills up people's bellies. And when you have a large family or you are very low income and you have a lot of mouths to feed, this can really help tremendously. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to add some of the cream soups to it. And now we're going to add this to it. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of milk, not much. And the bread will soak up that milk really nicely. So we're just gonna kind of give it a stir. It really doesn't matter because it's all gonna get mixed up when I put it into the casserole. Now some people don't care for this because they don't like cream soups. I totally understand that, but cream soup is something that we really use here. It's comfort food. And when I have my family over, they enjoy it. I made chicken this morning. I'm going to dice it up. In a matter of minutes, we have a casserole. And added the homemade bread that has the egg in it. Oh, it is going to be so good. So now this is taking an egg bread recipe and turning it into a main meal. And see how that all gets mixed together nice. All right, I'll get back to you, and we're going to add some cornflake crumbs with melted butter. And we'll put that on top. Now, I don't know about you, but the way we were raised and grew up, this was Grandma Fanny's fabulous meals that she would make. Yum, yum. I'll get back to you in just a minute. We sprinkle some cheese on top. You could leave it like this, or you could use some cornflake crumbs. Now, people often remarked why I don't use melted butter. I didn't in my other recipes simply because it was a fat that we really didn't need. But I am going to add it today just to show people that you can add it. You can add butter to your graham crack. You can add butter to your cornflake crumbs, and that would make them even more richer taste. But you don't need to add the butter. The butter is just an added fat. Yes, it is an added flavor though, and it is so good. Now we're going to go ahead and add the crumbs on top. So they'll get really crunchy, and it just adds another texture to your meal. And we want to make sure that we put it all out evenly. That way everybody who gets a bite gets to taste all of the goodness. All right, so now I have that made for when my children come over tomorrow, because it's a work day tomorrow, and now I don't have to spend any time in the kitchen when we're all together. We're gonna bake this at 350 for about 35 minutes. When I'm gonna take a moment, I'm just gonna sit down and just take a deep breath. I've been in the kitchen for 5 hours. The casserole is in the oven, and I'm just gonna sit back and talk to you a little bit here. Wow. One thing I realized with saving money is when you don't run around, you don't get convenience food, and you're home all the time, and you are cooking from scratch, and that's a lot of work. You know, they don't call it convenience food for nothing. And when you go to the grocery store and, you know, you don't feel like cooking, you can just grab a TV dinner or grab some kind of dinner, and within minutes you have food. I will be the first to admit to you that it's work. It is a lot of work. Saving money can be really, really a lot of work. And that's cooking from scratch, and then all of the dishes and cleaning up it takes. I really, looking back, can't see how I did it with the children and all the cooking I did. At my age, cooking is something that I don't relish in the fact of enjoying cooking. Now, I enjoy baking and cooking, but not like I did when I was younger. And I love to clean, I love to work outside, but spending a lot of time in the kitchen is work, but it saves you money. If you like videos like these, why don't you do me a big favor and take a look at all these videos below. They're amazing videos. It teaches you, entertains you, and I hope it inspires you. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, another day is done and the chores are done, and now it's time to relax. The days just go by so quickly. Hi everybody, it's Homestead Tessie coming to you with a product review, and that is this little portable space heater. This is oscillating, so in other words, it will go back and forth. I love these portable space heaters because they're so convenient. If you have a damp part of your house, you can just put them in. You can transport heat anywhere in your home. This one is Paris. This is from Paris Home. And the top, it has all of the buttons and all the thermostat buttons that you need. But let's give it a try and see, does it really throw off a lot of heat? All right, let's give it a try. All right, so here is the little space heater. It has a temperature gauge. It shows what temperature you want to set it at. It is really hot. And it oscillates, that means it turns. This is great for a small office. It is great if you have a small area, a small bedroom that you want to get all the draft out. It really throws off very good.
That throws more heat than any space heater I've ever felt.
Okay, it throws a lot of heat.
Wow.